All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. Oh, I always have trouble with this pinning. All right, everybody can see and hear me just fine?
Yes.
What did I do? Sorry, I just did something so I lost you all. Here we go. All right. I'm gonna get started in 1 second at full screen, perfect. And sorry, just gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna mute you guys, mute all. All right. Mute, perfect. I'm always having trouble. All right, so let me continue. We'll get started in 1 minute in video. Yes, all right. All right. Sorry, guys. Every week it's like the same thing. I have to remember what to do. I'm so bad at this. All right, thank you for tuning in. This is our 60-minute flow. I'm Joe. Good to see you again. My dog's barking in the back, so hopefully she won't go too nuts while we're in class. All right, so what I have planned for today, nice flow. We're gonna, as always, lengthen, open up the body, and then we're gonna come into some twists, gentle twists, nothing crazy. And you know, the thing about twists, if you've taken my yin classes, you know that I really like how twists are helpful to compress the organs. So we kind of give our organs a massage. So when we come into the twist, we're giving that massage to the organs. And when we open up out of the twist, we get this nice fresh flow of blood and energy through the organs. So it's just a nice little massage for our insides today. We're going to do a little bit of balancing stuff, meaning like Warrior 3. And if you've taken my flow classes, you know my balance is awful. So don't do what I'm doing, just do what I'm trying to do. All right. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start in a seated cross-legged position if that's comfortable for you. And just start to close your eyes. Let's come into our space. Beautiful morning today. And my favorite thought when I come into my space is gratitude. I just love to open my classes, to start my morning just thinking about at least one thing that I'm grateful for. And usually when you think of that one thing, it just opens the floodgates to everything else that you realize you have in your life, even when things aren't perfect, they're never perfect. Even when times are trying, they're always trying. But there's so much that's going right. And the more that we can appreciate that, the more our spirits are lifted, our eyes are open to more beautiful things, and we're just generally calmer, more peaceful, and happier. Start to come into some deeper and fuller breaths if you haven't already done so. And as you take those inhales, find that length through the spine, sitting up just a little taller, reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. And as you exhale, find grounding through the sit bones, all the points where you're contacting with the earth. Let's come into 3 nice cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose. Open through the mouth, side out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, side out. Inhale. One more release, let it go. And then come into your breath, finding your breath, your breathing pattern, whatever works for you. Perhaps Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose, closing off the back half of the throat, creating that nice warming breath, internal heat. Matching the length of your inhales with the length of your exhales. Take one more long breath, in and out. Next breath, begin to open the eyes. Reach the arms up to the sky. Grow tall through the spine. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, welcome again. Good to see you. Great, let's inhale, arms up to the sky. Come into our lateral side stretch. Right hand down to the mat, left hand up and over. Reaching all the way over to the side of the room. Gazing up if that feels good for you. Gazing down if that feels better for you. It's all about you. Inhale, both arms up and over to the other side. Both arms up to the sky, and then just twist over to the right, left hand to the right knee, right hand planted behind. Again, find that length through the spine with the inhale. Exhale, deepen the twist, bringing the gaze over the shoulder. Inhales to center, and twist to the left. Right hand to the left knee, plant the left hand behind you, lift up, and twist. Both arms up to the sky and just drop them forward. Start to walk the hands forward, releasing the forehead towards the floor, any amount. And press into those hands, come back up. Take the hands behind the hips and just press into the palms, lift the heart up to the sky, straighten those arms. Then bend the elbows, lean back and switch the cross of your legs. And we'll take that all again with just one breath, one movement, a little faster. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale over to the right lateral stretch. Inhale up and over to the other side. Inhale up, twist to the right. Inhale up to center, twist to the left. Inhale up to center, both hands down, forehead towards the floor as you walk the hands forward. And then continue walking forward, coming into your table, finding your table, stacking shoulders over the wrists and hips over the knees, and just come into some gentle circles for a moment, or just take any movements that feel good for you right now. So we're going to keep both hands on the mat and extend the right leg long. Oh, good, have enough room. Great. And let's take our knee to nose 3 times. Inhale, knee to nose, inhale, extend. Just turn it into a flow, knee to nose, extend, knee to nose, extend and pause here. Now we're going to take the same thing, taking that knee to the right elbow. Maybe shift forward just a little bit and extend. Come elbow to knee to elbow and extend. One more time. Extend. All right, this time we're going to pause here and then step that right foot to the outside of the right hand. And then just plug your shoulder into the knee and just come into some circles. Take a few in one direction and a few in the other direction. Maybe lower and lift that hip flexor, that left hip flexor toward the mat. And then come back into table and we'll come to the other side. So extend the left leg long. Both hands can stay on the mat. You can always add that arm, but for this one, you don't need to. And just flow, knee to nose, and extend 3 times. Knee to nose, extend. Knee to nose, extend, and just pause for a breath. And then take it to the left elbow. Extend. So just flow 3 times here. And then we'll just hold for a second, lifting that knee up, and then step it to the outside of the left hand. Glue that shoulder to the knee and just find your circles. So warming up the hip flexor. And maybe lower lift a little bit through that right hip flexor this time. Step back into your table. And maybe find your cat-cows here, inhaling to cow, gaze up, lowering the belly, and then exhale to cat, rounding through the upper back, gazing at the belly. Just find a few of these on your own. All right, find stillness. Tuck your toes, walk the hands forward, find your downward facing dog. So start to come into the downward facing dog moves that feel good for you, bending one knee and then the other, or lifting up and down on the toes, or I actually prefer stillness. I like to work out the hamstrings, dropping the heels towards the mat, but you can do any combination. But as you come into this, think about spreading your fingers nice and wide. And the more that you shift your weight into the palm of the hands to get the hips up and back, you take pressure off of that wrist. Really think about hips up and back, that inverted V, broadening across the back shoulder. All right, let's lift that right leg up to the sky. Then bend the knees, stack the hips. So keep your shoulders square towards the front. Press down heavily into both hands, right shoulder coming down towards the mat especially. Inhale, lift the knee up to the sky just a little bit more. Exhale, the foot to the butt. And then extend it long. Knee to nose. Step it through. Drop the back knee, low lunge. Anjaneyasana, arms up to the sky. We're going to flow again, so drop the hands, frame the foot. And this 3 times, straighten the leg, and then we're just gonna flow a little bit here, and we'll get into the hamstring just more in a minute. All right, so this 4th time, straighten that leg, pull the right hip back, so the left hip and right hip are aligned, square towards the front. And once you have that feeling where that right hip is really clicked in nicely towards the back, take both hands to the outside of the right foot and start to walk your hands off the right front corner of your mat. Okay. So we've gone like this, and as far forward as feels good for you. You'll notice the hamstring. You may feel it in your outer right hip. Just walk that as far off of that right corner as feels good for you, flexing those toes towards your nose. And then re-bend the knee, plant the hands, power up the back leg, and step forward into your forward fold. Find your forward fold here. Maybe grab opposite elbows for a moment, sway side to side. And then bend through the knees, reach the arms and the gaze up to the sky. Oops, I don't have enough room. And then hands to heart center. All right, reach the arms back up. Big step back with the left foot, left hand down to the mat, come into a low lunge twist. Left hand down, right hand up to the sky. Then you're going to come into some arm circles. So let's work through that rotator cuff. Just take the arm back, down and up, back, down and up. And then frame the foot, step back into a plank. All shift forward and slowly lower all the way down to the belly. Hugging those elbows in tight, untuck the toes. Inhale to your cobra, lifting your heart forward, pressing into the tops of the feet, knees and thighs off the mat. Exhale, forehead down. Press into a table, 1 breath into child's pose, don't park there. Back to table, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Yeah, we'll start the other side. All right. Left leg up to the sky. Bend the knees, stack the hips. Once again, focus on squaring those shoulders, which for most of us means pressing heavily into the left hand, left shoulder. Inhale, lift the knee. Exhale, foot to butt. Inhale, extend. Knee to nose, round through the spine. Step it through between the hands. Lower the back knee. Inhale, arms up to the sky. So same flow, frame the foot, straighten that front leg. We're gonna bend and straighten 3 times. And then after that 3rd time, just hold in that nice straight front leg. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward. Once you feel nice and square, you can walk both hands off to the left and take them to that left front corner. Any amount. So maybe you're feeling some screaming in the outside of the left hip or underneath the leg and those hamstrings. And then rebend the front knee, frame the foot, tuck the back knee, the back toes, knee up, and step forward into our forward fold. Bend through the knees, reach arms and gaze up to the sky. And big step back, right leg all the way back, right hand down to the mat, left hand up to the sky. And then add your circles, taking 3 circles. If you want to go in the other direction, go in the other direction. All right, plant the hands, step back into plank, shift forward, lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale to your back bend, to your cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, forehead down to the mat. Inhale to table. 1 breath to child's pose. Back to table. Tuck the toes, lift into your downward facing dog. And gaze to the front. Hop, step, or float your feet to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Find that nice lift. Exhale, fold. Arms and gaze up to the sky. And hands to heart center. Beautiful. We'll just move through 2 sun A's and then we'll get going into our sequence, all right? Just to warm up just a little bit more and get into our full chaturanga if you choose. So inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step back into plank. And lower down your way. So shift forward and you can come knees to the mat or you can come high to low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, your choice of back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Gaze up to the front, hop, step, or float, feet to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Arms and gaze up to the sky. And hands to heart center. Take 1 more like that. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank. And you can always lift straight into downward facing dog or lower down your way. All right, pause in downward facing dog. Once you get there, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. And from here, let's take a little side action. So come up onto the toes, shift both heels over to the right, bend the knees towards the left, and lower your seat towards your feet. And just come into a little side stretch here, a little twist. And then extend back to downward facing dog. Come up on the toes again, shift the heels to the left, bend the knees towards the right, drop your hips down towards the mat. Inhale, up, downward facing dog. Gaze up to the front, hop, step, or float, feet to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Let's take a breath in our halfway lift. So find that nice spine length in our pressing hands into shin, drawing long through the spine. Exhale, fold. Bend through the knees, arms and gaze up to the sky. And hands to heart center. All right. So we're going to do 3 flows today that will, like I said, the first 2 are really just for lengthening, and then we'll add in a few twists. And then it should be nice and warmed up to do 1 or 2 more twists, and then we'll cool down, all right? All right, so inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into a plank. So press straight into downward facing dog or take your flow. Your option, lots of opportunities always to flow, never have to take them all. And from downward facing dog, extend that right leg up to the sky. Same thing, bend the knees, stack the hips. Find that nice square hips towards the front of the mat. Inhale, extend it long, knee to nose. Step it through, runner's lunge. Find a nice foundation in this runner's lunge and then press into your high crescent. So reaching back through the heel of the back foot. The heel is stacked over the ball of the foot. Nice bend in the front knee. Take your hands to prayer. We're going to shift our weight into our front leg, coming into a warrior three. Oops, I'm running out of room. So prayer hands, that's where I like to be for my first one, but if you'd rather take arms forward or arms back, you choose where you want to be. Lower that left hip just a little bit more, straighten the right leg just a little bit more. Reach the crown of the head forward. And then bend through the standing leg back into your high lunge. Great. Open to warrior two. All right, take a moment to find your warrior two. Nice bend in that front knee. The knee is going out towards that right front corner of the mat. Pressing into the knife edge of the back foot. One more breath, maybe lower down just a little bit more. And straighten the front leg. When you prepare for triangle, if you'd like to shorten your stance a little, you can shorten that stance, hopping that back foot in a little. Take your time, first triangle, just reach that front arm. Remember, we're finding length through this first sequence. Reach, reach, reach all the way, and then tick-tock the arms. And as you come into this, press that front arm into the shin or the floor or something to find that leverage to spin your lower ribs forward. But at the same time, don't take a back bend. You want to find wideness through the lats in the back. So we're not opening into a back bend, but we're thinking about length through both sides of the body. Nice. Find that length, gaze at wherever feels good for you. And back into your warrior two. And turn all 10 toes towards the left. Come into your star pose. Parallel the feet, and then exhale down into a forward fold. Wide-legged forward fold. Nothing special here. All we're doing is coming into that fold, finding length. So just let the body hang. Let the head hang long. It feels good to just shift your weight from side to side. Go ahead and do that. Just think about long spine, nice length. And then when you're ready, walk your hands over to that right front foot, runner's lunge to the front of the mat. And we're going to step forward fold. So back foot to the front of the mat, find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Arms and gaze up to the sky. Hands to heart center. All right, so we're going to have a little balance into each of the sequences. So you're going to shift your weight into the right foot, left knee to the chest. Then we're going to come into a figure four here, half chair, some call it, or standing figure four. So left ankle to right knee. Begin to settle down, sinking your hips down, heart forward. Spine long. Find that balance. So as you're in here, where we're going next is we're going to take that left knee to the chest and we're going to come into a warrior three. So whenever you're ready, left knee to the chest, straighten that right leg and come into your warrior three. Lots of warrior threes today. And then both hands down to the mat, come into your standing split. So press into the right leg to lift up through the left leg. You can always take a supported warrior three if you'd rather have that. And then bend through that leg, come into a runner's lunge. We're going to take a side plank on the left. So as you step your right foot back, come into your side plank on the left. Always have the option to drop the left knee down to the mat. You can take whatever version of plank you want. This will be our only, our only plank for the day. So if you want to come right into your tree or whatever else that you want to do, find your side plank, but press into the left hand to lift up so you're protecting the shoulder. And then right hand long over the ear towards the front of the room, finding that length. Then come into your plank and make your way to downward facing dog, flowing or going straight into downward facing dog. All right, other side, extend the left leg long. Bend the knees, stack the hips. We've been here before. Squaring those shoulders. Inhale, extend the left leg long. Knee to nose. Step it through, come into your high lunge. Hands to prayer. Shifting into that first warrior three for this side. Weight into the left foot. Reach into your warrior three, dropping that right hip down, squaring the hips, straightening the left leg once you get into position. Bend through the knee, back to high crescent lunge. And then open to warrior two. So you're facing the right side of your mat this time. Turn around just to face you. Okay, straighten that front leg. And again, if you want to hop that back foot in, hop it in. Taking your time finding that length and come into your triangle. Really think about stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips, maybe reaching that left hand down, either closer to the mat or just a little bit more forward. Whatever it takes to bring that length through the lower side body as well as that top side body. All right. Rebend that front leg back to warrior two. Straighten both legs, reaching into your wide-legged forward fold from star first, and then come into the wide-legged forward fold. And again, just going to find length, letting the spine be long, letting the head be heavy. Maybe you're grabbing opposite elbows and swinging them side to side. And then releasing both hands to the mat. Runner's lunge to the front, framing that front left leg. Step forward into your forward fold. Then through the knees, reach the arms up to the sky. Hands to heart center. We'll take the balance on the other side. So shift your weight into the left foot, right knee to the chest. Come into your standing figure four here. Right ankle to the left knee. And open that right knee out so you get the nice hip opener while squaring hips towards the front. Sink the butt down. Lift up through the spine so you're not curving around into a ball but finding length. And remember, we're going to be going into warrior three from here. So whenever you're ready, straighten that standing leg, right knee to the chest, and come right into your warrior three. Mule, kick that foot back. And then release hands down for your standing split. Pressing into your left leg to find lift. Then bend through the standing leg, big step back into runner's lunge. We'll come into our side plank on the right. So go ahead and step the left foot back with the option to take a supported side plank by dropping the right knee if you'd rather, or taking any other version of side plank that you'd like. The main thing is your right hand is right under your right shoulder. You're pressing in. You're lifting your hips up towards the sky. If you want that lateral stretch, reach the top arm up over the ear. And then come into your plank and make your way to downward facing dog. Okay, let's move on. Right leg up to the sky. Bend the knees, stack the hips. This time, if you'd like to flip your dog, go ahead and flip your dog. If you're flipping the dog, your feet are nice and parallel. Your hips are lifted and squared towards the sky. Right hand reaching towards the front of the room. If you flipped, go ahead and unflip. Knee to nose. This time, step through into warrior one. Press up into warrior one. Our first warrior one, so take a moment to find your perfect warrior one. Maybe hands to hips. Just like we did in that lunge, you want to square the hips towards the front of the mat. And the one cue that I need for myself every time you're pressing into the back, knife edge of the back foot, in particular that heel, it's easy to, I don't know why, but it's easy to just lift up into something. Just press into that knife edge, good bend in that front. All right, interlace hands behind the back, find your humble warrior preparation, reach the fist towards the heel, heart up to the sky. And once you have that length, exhale into your humble warrior. So chest to thigh or shoulder inside the knee, gaze to that back heel that should be firmly planted to the mat. 2 more breaths here, nice long breaths, reaching the top, hands up and over. And then with your next breath, your inhale, reach the fist towards the back heel, lift up, unwind the arms, warrior one. And open to warrior two to the front. Yes, today is not one of those days where I'm going to move you all around the mat. And maybe you have to open your stance a little bit more for your warrior two from that warrior one. Okay, flip the palm, reach forward, get a good bend in that front knee, come into your reverse, reaching the hand up to the sky and exhaling it towards the back, keeping the bend in the front knee, which is always another reminder I always need for myself. Right, back to warrior two. Come into your version of extended side. So you can take your forearm to the thigh. You can reach that top arm up. You can reach it overhead. Remember, press into the thigh to lift through both sides of your body. A lot of times I can think, oh, I can rest on this, and I just kind of dump. Don't dump. Press in to lift up, just as we were doing in the side plank. You have to really use that bottom arm to lift. Beautiful, nice bind, you guys. Back to warrior two. And we're going to shift into our half moon. So start to take backhand to back hip gaze, a foot or two forward, shorten the stance, and just start to dip into it. You know my half moon. I don't care if it's right here. You don't have to have that hand down. If it feels good, go ahead and lift that top arm. And you're thinking just like triangles, squaring hips and shoulders towards the left side of the room. If you feel wonky, take a bend in that front leg. And then once it feels good, go ahead and straighten. Flex the back foot. And then bend through the front leg back to warrior two. Nice. Okay. Turning towards the left, come into goddess now. So bend through those knees, elbows. All right, think about tucking the tailbone down. So again, we're not rounding, we're trying to be straight. Knees going out towards the toes. And just lower down a little bit more and then shift side to side. Ah, feels good on those inner thighs. Nice, Michelle. All right, back into 5-pointed star. Warrior two to the front of the mat. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the foot. We'll step into a 3-legged dog. So the right leg comes all the way to the back of the mat. Lift up. Add a little core here. Knee to nose. And extend. Right knee to right elbow. Shifting shoulders over wrist. Extend. Over to the left, add that twist in, shift your shoulders over wrist, extend. And then we'll come back into our high lunge. Did we do both sides? Okay, our high lunge. Yes.
We did not do both sides yet.
I'm still on this. Okay, thank you. I think I muted. I guess I didn't mute. Good thing. All right, we're coming into eagle. So you're going to take left arm under right, shift weight into the right, left knee to the chest, and come into eagle arms and legs. So glad I thought I muted, but I'm so glad I did it. All right, so bring those elbows up towards the sky. The foot can be a kickstand. Your left foot can come down or can wrap fully around. Our dismount this time is going to be a bound warrior 3. So when you're ready, left knee to the chest, keep the arms bound, come into your warrior 3. And then come back into high lunge, reach the arms up to the sky. Plant both hands down to frame the foot, step back into plank. We're gonna take a move similar to what we did in warm up with the heels, but we're in plank now. Shift both heels to the right and drop your hips a little. Ooh, stretch through that side and come back up. Shift both heels over to the left, drop the left hip towards the mat. Come back up, press into downward facing dog. Now we get to the left side, thank you. All right, left leg up to the sky. Bend the knees, stack the hips, option to flip the dog. Again, feet parallel, hips lifted, left hand towards the front of the room. Unflip, knee to nose, step through, warrior 1 on this side. All right, find your warrior 1, foundation. Humble warrior prep, reach the hands behind with the opposite thumb on top towards the heel, heart forward. Exhale into your humble warrior. Pressing into all of those points on the mat, right? That whole knife edge of the back foot, the heel of the back foot, 4 corners of the front foot. One more breath here. Inhale back up to your warrior 1 and open to your warrior 2. And again, I'm just going to turn to face you. Flip the palm, find your reverse. And then come into your extended side angle. So I like to drop down to the floor and start with my arms way open, and then take the arm up and over. And maybe you like to have your elbow on the thigh. But if it's on the thigh, just remember to take the elbow as far forward as you can. Once again, getting length through the bottom side body as well as the top. Inhale back to warrior 2 and come into your half moon. So I like my back hand to back hip. Front hand kind of says, yeah, this is where we're going. Shift the weight to the front foot. Find your half moon. Maybe it's not very parallel, doesn't matter. It's just about balance, body awareness. Some days you have it, some days you don't. We all know that. Then bend into the standing leg back to warrior 2. Goddess to the front of the room, or to the sides. Okay, take your hands to the inside of the thighs. Let's get that little shoulder open. Tilt forward at the hips, and then drop the left shoulder, bring the gaze over to the right. And then switch, drop the right shoulder, gaze over to the left. And then back up to our 5-pointed star. And you're going to come back to the front of the room, runner's lunge. Breathe like a dog. Left leg up to the sky. And take that core, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Left knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend. And take the twist, left knee to right elbow. Extend. Step it through. Lift into your high lunge. Coming into eagle. So right arm underneath the left, shift your weight into the left foot, right knee to the chest, and find your version of eagle. The more the hips are square towards the front, it's easier to keep everything aligned. Shoulders square, elbows up. And then as you're ready, you're thinking about coming into a bound warrior 3. So straighten and legs, unbind the legs, come into that bound warrior 3. And then standing leg, open up to high crescent lunge. Frame the feet, step back into plank, and one more time we'll take that little side plank action. Both heels to the left this time, dropping the left hip. Come through center, both heels to the right. Drop the right hip. Come through center and find your way to downward facing dog. All right, last bit of our sequence. We're going to add in some of the twists. So right leg up to the sky. We're going to step it right through, nothing fancy. Come right into your high crescent lunge. So from runners, lift up. And you're going to come into a standing twist. So left hand forward, right hand to the back. Maybe the gaze follows the back hand. And back to high crescent lunge. 2 more times like that. Twist to the right and up. Twist to the right. High crescent. We'll come into our prayer twist. Take hands to prayer. Reach the hands forward, find length, and then left elbow to right knee. Come into that twist. So as you're in the twist, think about spinning those lower ribs to the right. Same thing that we've been doing. You want to bring your chest towards the thumbs. So you want to keep spinning the chest so that your thumbs are in the center. So don't think about anything else. Just think about taking those bottom ribs forward. Yeah. All right, release both hands down to the mat. Step the back foot forward, find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Arms and gaze up to the sky. Hands to heart center. So we're going to take the left knee to the chest. Start getting into some more twist here. So right hand to the outside of that knee, left hand reaches back. If you want to stay here, you can stay here. If you want to grab the knife edge of the left foot, oops, extend it long, maybe not. Coming to your dancing Shiva. Woo, it's not happening for me today. All right, left knee back to the chest. Step back into your high lunge. Oh, I forgot something. Nope. So we're going to shift into our warrior 3. Hands down to the mat, standing split again. Bend through the standing leg, come into a runner's lunge. Drop the back knee, inhale, arms up to the sky. A little twist series here. Reach the left arm forward, right hand back. And then left hand to the mat, right hand up to the sky for your lunge twist. Option to power up that back leg. Coming up on the toes, lift the back knee. Option to stay at either spot or come into a reverse Skandasana. Knife edges of both feet, reach that top arm towards the back of the room, lower the hip. And then we'll all meet back into a runner's lunge. Step back into a plank and find your way to downward facing dog. Last part of this 3-sequence flow, left leg up to the sky. Gaze between the hands, step the foot through, come into your high crescent lunge. Standing twist, right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale up. So 2 more times like that. Left hand back, right hand forward, and up. 1 more standing twist. Both arms up to the sky. Hands to prayer. Reach forward, getting that length. And then find your prayer twist. And again, spinning those bottom ribs forward, bringing the center of the chest towards the thumbs. Squaring the hips so the left hip's not jutting out, it's pulling in towards the center. Release both hands down, frame the foot. Back foot forward, step top of the mat, forward fold. Then through the knees, arms and gaze up to the sky. Hands to heart center. Last bit of balance. Okay, shift your weight to the left foot, right knee to the chest. See if I'm any better on this side. Left hand to the outside of the right knee and right hand to the back. Whoops, good thing I have a wall. Maybe you want to come for the knife edge of the right foot and extend it long. And then right knee to the chest, back to high lunge. Couldn't get to the high lunge fast enough. And then shift into warrior 3. Both hands down to the mat, standing split. Pressing into that bottom leg to lift up. Then through the left leg, runner's lunge. Drop the back knee to the mat. Inhale, arms up to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Simple twist, right hand forward, left hand back. Right hand down to the mat, left hand up to the sky. Power up the back knee. Option to stay here or come into reverse Skandasana, knife edges of both feet, reaching the left hand back to the back of the mat. And then frame the foot, step back into a plank, lower down your way, or just come straight into downward facing dog. And then from here, let's all come down into child's pose. Yeah. We did it. So it was a simple little flow, but it kept us moving. Two more breaths in your child's pose. Back to downward facing dog. Okay, gaze up to the front of the mat. Hop, step, or float your feet to the front of the mat. Find a nice forward fold. Either grab opposite elbows or take yogi toe hold. Peace fingers underneath, big toes, thumbs on top. Elbows out to the sides. If you're in the yogi toe hold, you can bend the knees, chest to thighs, or you can gradually straighten what feels good for you. And release, bend through the knees, reach arms and gaze up to the sky. And hands to heart center. Now you're going to step the left foot back and face the left side of your mat, forward fold. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold one more time to release through those twists. So take your hands to the mat and come into a wide downward facing dog, wide leg downward facing dog. Just walk the hands forward. If it feels good for you, shift the weight into the toes, release the elbows to the mat, forearms to the mat. Feels good, you can flow back and forth between those two, or you can just hang. Walk the hands back under your face, runner's lunge to the front, and then three-legged dog, right leg up to the sky, preparing for pigeon. Let's take our right knee to the right wrist, come into your pigeon, walking that back foot back, taking your time to square the hips towards the front of the mat before you come down, if you choose to come down. So keep walking that back foot straight back, hip square, and once you have the hips nice and square towards the front, go ahead and come on down into your pigeon, wherever it is for you. Maybe you stay on your forearms, maybe your forehead's down. Maybe you've taken this on your back as a figure four. If pigeon's not your thing, or if you have knee or hip issues. Next breath, begin to take yourself up. Walk the back foot back, tuck the toe, come into your three-legged dog, open up the hips, square the hips, circle the hips, whatever feels good for you. Step that foot forward again, and we'll come back into wide-legged forward fold. This time, let's take both hands over to the left ankle and bring the chest towards the left leg. Walk the hands over to the right ankle, both hands to right ankle, chest to the thigh. And coming through center, we're going to take a runner's lunge to the back of the mat. So frame the left foot. Come into your three-legged dog here to find preparation for your pigeon on this side. So left leg up to the sky, find that length, and then left knee to the left wrist. And start to come into your pigeon, walking the right foot all the way back, squaring the hips towards the front. Put it back in a minute. So you're pulling that left hip back, right hip forward. And then if you want to fold, fold. Do you? Start to come out, walk your hands up, tuck the back toe. Three-legged dog, left leg up to the sky, circle, straighten, whatever feels good for you to work through that left hip. Three-legged dog, left leg extended long, step it through between the hands again, and just walk in through the side all the way back to the front. And we'll meet in a forward fold at the front of the mat. Start to rise, arms up to the sky. Add a little back bend from the top of the chest just to open up one last time. There we go. And let's lower all the way down. So maybe you want to come to a chair. We're just going to come to a seat on our mat. Just lower our hips all the way down. And then we're going to come into, let's see, we're going to come all the way onto our back. And take the knees to the chest. We did it again, didn't I? Ran out of time. Okay, we're just going to take both knees over to the right for spinal twist. When you're ready, just rock, rock, rock. And when you're ready, drop both knees to the right. Arms out to a T, gaze over to the left. And both knees up to the chest. Rock side to side. Taking your time. When you're ready, release both over to the left. Both knees to the left, arms to a T, gaze to the right. Left hand can come on to the stack of knees or stay out. You're walking that left shoulder out towards the left so the shoulders can be as square to the sky as possible for your anatomy. Really feeling that twist after that last sequence where we got to twist right, left, sideways. And then both knees to the chest. Kick yourself into a nice tight ball. Find your happy baby or any last moves that you would like, because once again, it took us a little bit longer than I thought. Okay, if you're in happy baby, soles of the feet to the sky, maybe elbows inside the knees to help bring those the knees into the armpits by pulling on the knife edges of the feet, or maybe the ankles, wherever feels good for you to grab to get this nice opening. Just make sure you release the tailbone down to the mat so you're finding a nice, flat, long spine. We're not in a ball right now. You want to rock side to side. As I said, any other moves that you need, or if you're ready now, you can come into your final rest. Reaching the legs long, the width of the mat. Arms down by your sides. Roll the shoulders up, down, and back to just release through the shoulders. And as you're ready, find that final release, letting go into the mat. Coming into your space. Maybe your mind goes back to whatever it is you thought about in gratitude. Maybe your mind goes to the next 5 things that floodgate of gratitude opens up. I'm grateful that you all came out onto the mat today, joined me in this practice. I'm grateful that we have the health that enables us to move through a practice. Just always remembering that it's called a practice because there are some things that we're able to do one day and not the next. It's a practice, it's not perfection. And we move through life in that same way. Things come at us from all different directions unexpectedly. The best planners are stymied by the stuff we're not expecting. And when we can just be okay with ourselves when, say in my instance, Warrior Threes just aren't happening, that's practice for life, right? It's practice for life's equivalent of Warrior 3 coming at me. Most recently, my daughter had just a sad situation with a puppy they adopted, and after a week and a half, they already had, at only 8 weeks old, had an ear infection, eye infection, and then pneumonia. By 2 weeks, it was starting to lose all muscle function, having seizures. By 3 weeks, they had to say goodbye. She struggled, but any of you who are moms know I struggled. My daughter was sad. But you know, she is an amazing yogi, and I know she's still very sad. But she's dealing. And one of the things she said is teaching her yoga classes or taking her classes are what saved her. The things that we practice on the mat, we practice in real life, even through the really sad, hard things. And that's what makes us human. If you'd like to stay longer, I give you a very short Shavasana. That's the beauty of the home practice. You can just stay as long as you'd like. If you're ready to come out, begin to take movements into your fingers and toes, circling ankles and wrists. Reaching arms up overhead, taking knees to the chest, finding a gentle rock side to side. And coming over onto your favorite side. Nice fetal position on the side for 1 cycle of breath. And then pressing into the top hand, come to a seat, bringing hands to heart center. Let's find one long cleansing breath to close out the practice. Inhale through the nose, finding length through the spine and pausing at the top of the breath. Open mouth, let it go. Thumbs to the third eye. We all bow and say namaste.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, yogis. So good to see you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Hope to see you next week. Bye.
It was great class. I appreciate it.
Love you guys.